Hi everyone, welcome to Boarded Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie and this is my first replay from the new patch 9.18, and it features a brand new tank, the Thunderbolt. Well, it's sort of brand new. I've been sent 2 replays from the Flying Elite from Pyro Clan. He's platooned up with his old mate LeSigh from PBCAC, and clearly those two have both bought the new Tier 6 Premium American Medium Tank, the Thunderbolt. Now of course, looking at the Thunderbolt, it might look familiar because it's essentially similar to the other Tier 6 American tanks. I did a comparison on Tank Compare in the game. In the game, you can have a look at it. And I've got a Rudy, and it looks very, very similar to the Rudy. But clearly, it looks like it's got a bit of an armour. Just blocked the shot from the KV-1S. Copped a little bit from the KV-1 though, which looked like it was high explosive ammunition. And of course, like a Tier 6. Like a lot of Tier 6 premiums, quick rate of fire, 115 damage with 128 penetration, 177 penetration with APCR rounds. LeSigh picks up the first kill, getting rid of the KV-1, and Flying Elite keeps moving forward in his Thunderbolt, pushing towards the KV-1S, which is comfortably bouncing these shots. So maybe the armour on this American medium tank is a little bit better than some of the other Tier 6 American medium tanks. He's bouncing shots like an absolute boss in this game, and without giving too much away, this is going to be a pretty quick game, but I do have another one after this one. 2-1's the score. He's done 820 hit points of damage already, and that's growing, and he's still blocked more damage than he has put out. 3-1's the score now. The Flying Elite's 1100 damage, 920 block, 1200 damage as he keeps chipping away at these enemy tanks. Quick paddle buddy reset into the friendly KV-1, who was being an absolute plonker, sort of pushing around that corner, really getting in the way of these two, as Flying Elite picks up his 3rd kill, sending the Chaffee back to the garage. 7-1 the score now on Himmelsdorf. And of course, with the new matchmaking, even though he's not top tier, there's only 3 Tier 7 tanks on each side, which makes it a little bit easier when you're not top tier, which is going to be most of the time with the new matchmaking in patch 9.18. 9-1 the score now, so it's just a case of cleaning up. He auto-aims at the AMX ELC, who's running like his life depends on it, because he does. His trackseat the shot from the VK30-01H, and a superior rate of fire, and both focus firing well together to clean up the German. Is it a heavy? No idea. Has a look at the grill. 11-2 the score, so now it's just a case of cleaning up the mess on Himmelsdorf. The Flying Elite from Pyro and LeSigh from PBCAC, they're loving their Thunderbolts. But looking at when I was comparing them, there's not really much of a difference between them and the other Tier 6 American medium tank, the E8, the E2, the Fury. That's what I all compared them all to. But with its reasonably well angled front, it's going to be able to bounce shots, which we've just seen. He's bounced 920 hit points of damage in this game, as he's hoping to get 1 or 2 more shots off into the GW Panther, which looks like he just fired, so he can move forward, no worries at all. Gets lit, but it doesn't matter. And there's his 4th kill, the Flying Elite. 15-2, an absolute whitewash on Himmelsdorf. But we'll have a look at the post-game battle results very quickly. It's an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge in the brand new tank. And of course, it is also a shell-proof for all that damage block, fighter, fire for effect, a steel wall, which is no surprise, especially at the start. He was bouncing those enemy tanks like an absolute boss. On the second page of the post-game battle results, 1806 hit points of damage, 4 kills, 1072 base experience. LeSigh had a ripper as well with 1175 and 2 kills. Flying Elite, he fired 26 shots, 21 hit, 18 did damage, 1806 hit points of damage, 920 damage blocked by armour. And even though it was only a 3-minute, nearly a 4-minute game, he still made 75,000 credits. That's with a premium account and a little bit of a fine for putting that shot into the KV-1. But not a bad result for the Flying Elite and his Thunderbolt. That's the first of the 2 Ace Tanker Mastery Badge replays that he showed me. This is the second one. This one goes for a little bit longer, but not that much longer, so don't blink because you might miss it. And again, he's platooned up with his old mate LeSigh from PBCAC. They're both in their Thunderbolts. And I haven't watched the whole replay, but I've watched the first part. Not sure what they're doing here. Doing a bit of boosting. Pretty hard to boost in a tank that doesn't really go that quick. You can see they're doing less than 10 kilometers an hour. Maybe he's just going to try and push LeSigh up to do a little bit of sniping in this tier 8 game. So it's a little bit different to the Himmelsdorf replay, which was a tier 7. But in this replay, again with the new matchmaking, only 3 tier 8 tanks on the enemy side, and the rest 5 tier 7s on each side, the rest tier 6s. Try to do a little bit of boosting here, which is, it's just not going to happen, is it? They're just not quick enough, the tier 6 American medium tanks. But as I mentioned earlier, I did a comparison. They do look very similar. I think the main difference might be maybe the shape of the turret. Maybe that's what helped the Flying Elite bounce a heap of shots in that last replay. But looks very similar to the Fury to me, which I've got. And when I compared the two, the Fury had better statistics, but of course when you're comparing them, I've got a pretty good crew in mind. Being a premium tank, it's got a tier 10 crew in it, so maybe the Fury looked better because of the crew, because I don't have a Thunderbolt, so of course it just had like a normal 100% crew. Flying Elite persisting with this climb, I think, is giving up now, which is probably the right thing to do. Lost a tank, Tiger 1, up the other end somewhere. And the Flying Elite from Pyro Clan with his Thunderbolt. Going for about 50 or 60 bucks, I think, from memory. They came out not long after the patch started, or maybe they came out maybe on the weekend after the patch started on the Asian server. It was the 4th of May when the new patch came out, which was Thursday. And I think these new tanks came out over the weekend, maybe on the Friday. So of course, tier 6 medium tank in a tier 7 game can be a little bit challenging, but it looks like the Flying Elite and LeSigh both going to do a little bit of sniping in their tanks. Of course, the tank, as I mentioned in the first game, 115 average damage, 128 penetration, 177 penetration for APCR rounds, which is the premium rounds of ammunition. And you can also see these timers on the consumables, the repair kit, the med kit and the fire extinguisher. After 90 seconds you can use them again, whether it's a large or a small. And something people don't seem to understand, you still only pay for the first one that you use. So if you don't use it, when you go back to the garage, you don't have to pay for anything, same as previously. But if you use it once or 10 times, it's still going to cost exactly the same. As the Flying Elite puts his first shot into the Tiger P, the team's in a little bit of trouble. They're down 1 to 5 and persisting with these little mini climbs in his Thunderbolt. Just sort of waiting for something to happen. You can see on the minimap the enemy side got a pretty strong presence down the eastern, the southeastern flank, which is traditionally where the heavy tanks go. But Tiger 1's just been spotted with a T20 on the northwest, and they're only getting held up by a Hawk or a HWK, the new tier 8 German light tank. First shot bounces the Tiger 1, but his second shot does another little bit of damage. It's slowly coming back. The enemy GETONBOARDSTEWIEJP drowned himself on the other side, and it looks like LeSigh and his mates on the other side doing a pretty good job chipping away at the enemy tanks, bringing it back to just a 2-tank deficit. The Tiger misses the Flying Elite, and the Flying Elite just keeps chipping away into that front wheel. HWK looking a little bit nervous. Looks a bit like the Spic, the new HWK. Well, to me it does anyway. Now the T70, T20 on the enemy side, getting stuck in, lighting everybody, and also putting a bit of damage in. So the Flying Elite thinks I've got to get rid of this bloke. LeSigh picks up the kill. That's his second kill. And they're slowly clawing this one back, 5 to 7. Remember, it was 1 to 5 or 0 to 5 at one stage. You can see LeSigh's been stunned by enemy artillery. Looks like he's fixed it as they chip away at the tier 7 Swedish medium tank, the Leo. Of course, the Leo's got a pretty handy gun, but what it doesn't have is armour. And so these blokes just focus fired well together. Clearly they have platooned a lot in the past. They've sent me a lot of replays, these two, and just the focus fire and the coordination, if you like, to get rid of these enemy tanks. The Flying Elite still on full health, but he wants to make sure artillery can't hit him. Looks like artillery fired not so long ago. The Tiger 1 is stunned, and he's focusing elsewhere. So the Flying Elite and LeSigh both get rid of him. LeSigh again picking up his 4th kill. He's having an absolute ripper in his Thunderbolt. 11-8 the score now. The first is the first time they've been ahead since the start of the game. And the Flying Elite just chipping away at the Jag Panther 2, the Tier 8 German tank destroyer. And one more shot might be enough. He might need 2. Depends if somebody else hits him or not. There is a J Tiger 8.8, the premium tank destroyer, to contend with too. That's his first kill of the game, the Flying Elite from Pyro Clan in the Thunderbolt. He's done 1,851 damage. Hasn't blocked as much as he did last game, but he hasn't needed to because the enemy tanks probably think, oh, he's only a little tier 6, you don't need to worry about him. But he's certainly chipped away at their health. And it's just a J Tiger 8.8 left where the Scorpion G just started to ping. And the Leo and the IS, you can see them moving forward. The IS on pretty low health, as is the Leo, but so's that J Tiger as the M12 picks up the kill. And it's just 2 artillery pieces left. You can see in the minimap the Hawk 12, the Tier 8, the new Tier 8 German light tank, going straight up to where he reckons artillery might be, and he wants to spot that GW Panther as well as the FV304. 13-9 the score now. Bear in mind they were down 1-5, or it might have even been 0-5 in the early parts of the game, as the Flying Elite's looking for a shot on the little birdie tank. That's not going to hit. There's a hill there, but keeps moving forward. And one thing for sure, it might be similar to other tanks, but it's a pretty good looking tank. The called again the Thunderbolt, or the M4A3E8 Thunderbolt VII. 15-9 in the end, not a bad result. And of course this is going to be another tank which caused me no end of grief in how to pronounce the name, because it's a Thunderbolt 7, but it's not a tier 7, it's a tier 6 premium American medium tank. It's an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge for the Flying Elite, and of course the Fire for Effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. 1986 hit points of damage, 2 kills, 1117 base experience, and I would have thought LeSigh would have scored a little bit higher in the rankings there. Well, he's got second, but 4 kills, that's no mean feat at all in a tier 8 game. 25 shots fired for the Flying Elite, 21 direct hits, 19 went through, and a little bit of the 350 detecting damage too. That was probably on that GW Tiger towards the end of the game. And once again, very handy profit. Tier 6 premium tank, just over 86,000 credits profit with a premium account. That's after tax. So there's 2 games of the Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt 7, the new tier 6 American premium medium tank, featuring LeSigh and the Flying Elite from PB Cack and Pyro Clans. I don't think I'm going to buy one because it looks exactly the same as my Fury, but it looks like not a bad tank nonetheless. Thanks for the replays, lads. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and see you all next time.